After studying many of the experts in the field of personal productivity, I realized that we have an area of incredible leverage in our lives, but it's hidden from most of us. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, where to find it, and how to use it to take your personal productivity to a whole new level. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Dr. Scott. Thanks for stopping by on a Tuesday morning. Super rainy out here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Tuesday is the day we're talking about motivation, productivity, things of that nature. And today we're going to be talking about creating your own personal success ritual, morning personal success ritual. One of my favorite topics. And if you're new to the show, it's something I spend every January working on with my clients as well as viewers here of Coffee with Dr. Scott. So if you're not familiar with that, again, every January I go live every day for 31 days straight, giving you things to improve your morning routine. So I'm not going to do that all in today's show. I'm just going to give you some basics. But if you want access to that, we do have them all in a spreadsheet. I could lead you in the right direction. I could send you the links. So if you do want more personal morning routine stuff, just raise your hand in the comments down below and I'll make sure my staff gets that over to you. While we're getting organized here, answer the question of the day, which is if you could time travel, would you go into the future or the past? And I guess I'll add to that why. Why would you choose what you choose? I see John and Dennis joining me early. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Again, question of the day. If you could time travel, would you go into the future or the past? Hector, thanks for stopping by here, buddy. What's happening? And again, if you do want that personal morning routine success from January, you could go find. No, you couldn't. That's right. I'm sorry, I just got stunned. It doesn't exist because in February my Facebook got hacked and I lost all that stuff. I didn't lose it. I know where it is. You just can't find it. So if you do want the 31 days of personal morning success ritual lives, which were all short little tidbits, then, like I said, just raise your hand down in the comments down below. All right. Last week we talked about habit gravity and escape velocity. And I mentioned that in days 0 through 10 for habit gravity or escape velocity, we're focused, we're intentional on getting out of an old habit and getting into a new habit. And to some degree, it's pretty easy and we get some good lift off, but we put a lot of energy into it. Days 10 to 20, we tend to lose some of our focus. We have a lot more resistance. And if we can get through that, days 20 to 30, we end up getting some real good momentum because we start to acclimate to our new routine. So we can actually be more productive with that new habit. Probably the most important element of increasing your productivity and the most important habit to get into is working on your inner game of productivity that we kind of talked about. And that is through a personal morning success ritual. When we start working on that inner game, that mental game, I mentioned, was it just last week, 2 weeks ago, that one of the rarest states that we can get into is a state of awareness, just aware of where we stand and what we want to accomplish in life. And one of the rarest energies that we have is willpower, unfortunately. But what we want to think about as we start talking about productivity is that every thought we have can turn into an amazing thing. I'm always amazed when I'm traveling, which obviously I'm not able to do right now. But when I'm flying over, let's say, Chicago, and I see all the big buildings, and I realize that those buildings started as someone's thought. Those big businesses started as someone's thought. And it kind of brings me to those things of thinking about awareness, thinking about willpower, and also thinking that one of the most rare actions that we have or that we take is intentional repetition. Intentional repetition, these habits that we have are so powerful. They're more powerful than willpower. If anybody paid attention last week, I put out a quote that said, the people that we see that we think have a lot of willpower really just got into good routines. It is intentional repetition that looks like disguises itself as willpower. that intentional repetition gets into a habit where we don't have to think about it. We don't have to have willpower. We don't have to be drawn towards something. We're just doing the things that we decided to do when we were in a state of awareness. When we had a little bit of willpower, we took advantage of it. And that's why it's so important to get those things done first thing in the morning with intentional repetition. A guy that I follow, his name is Pavel Tsatsouline. He's a Russian kettlebell instructor, but one of his big quotes is that if it's worth doing, it's worth doing daily. And I believe that as far as a morning routine ritual and your productivity, the things that are most important to you should be done daily. Too often we get into a state where we're thinking about something that is very, very important to us, and we spend weeks thinking, oh, I want to get to that. Maybe we put it on the calendar and then something comes up and we don't do it. I'm a big fan of creating space for that daily. So that is your personal success ritual. And again, we're not going to get into specifics on this one, but if you want those specifics, I can lead you in the right direction. Just raise your hand in the comments down below. But your secret to creating your own morning success ritual is finding something that renews you, that refreshes you, that recharges you. The first things that we do each day have the most leverage for us. And doing things with intention allows you to take control of your day. I think you all are aware of that in a sense that what you eat first thing in the morning depends on what you're going to eat the rest of the day, right? If you wake up late and you're in a hurry and you grab a bagel and head out the door, or I don't know, God forbid you stop at a gas station and get something to eat there. I don't know what people do. That's not what I do. It's more likely when lunch comes around, you're going to think, I've already eaten crappy today. I'm just going to grab something quick again. And then when you get home at night, you don't feel like doing anything and you order a pizza. However, if you're intentional about your food first thing in the morning and whatever it is you choose to do, again, I'm a coffee with supplements person, and then I have a good healthy breakfast based on my backyard chickens, which I just moved closer to the house. We had a raccoon issue the other night. So I can see them right there. I go out and get really fresh eggs, and I'm intentional about that. It tends to lead through the rest of my day. It becomes a powerful, intentional habit for me, and I'm sure the same goes for you. Same goes with any form of exercise, and that's something we'll talk about here in just a second. If you do that stuff first thing in the morning, it's more likely you're going to have a more energized day. Whereas if you save it till something you're going to do after work and you have a crappy day, it's less likely you're going to do the exercise. So I've become known as the morning routine guy because, again, I spend every January doing it, and it's just something I work on constantly with my clients. So my beliefs are that the optimal combination of exercise, intentionally moving your body for energy. It doesn't have to be your full workout, but doing something early in the morning as your own personal success ritual. And the point I want to make here, and something I say all the time, is I always think about being in an airplane. They say, if there's a difference in cabin pressure, put your own mask on first before helping others. I think of your personal morning success ritual that way. This is your chance to help yourself before you help others, but more importantly, so that you can help others. Both in your office as well as your own family, you can be a better version of yourself for them. So I believe every morning success ritual has some form of exercise. And again, for me, my morning routine is not my exercise. It is intentionally moving my body. I typically have a alternating stretching gymnastics type morning with the next morning will be a little bit of a cardio, which is just 5 to 10 minutes worth of moving. I got a text this morning from a client who told me that let's see, what did he do? I don't know where it is. Telling me that he did some burpees and jumping jacks this morning because I've been on him about getting some sort of motion this morning. I don't know if he's watching right now. He is not. So he did that, but he's not watching the show. I see Mick, Andrew, and Casey have joined us. Thanks for joining. Please answer the question of the day. If you could time travel, would you go into the future or the past? And why? So some form of exercise in that routine. And this is something that I want you to focus on between now and next week. These next 4 weeks on our Tuesdays, we're going to be working out some of the bugs of this morning routine. Again, I can get you access to the specifics, but the general things are some form of exercise, Some form of a breathing technique, which is a focus, might be in a meditative state if you like that. I personally do not. I just do some breathing during my stretching, during my if I go for a walk with the dogs or whatever it might be. I get my breathing technique, which is something I learned from Tony Robbins. Not personally. It's not like we hang out together and we're buddies, but something I've studied, breathing technique that helps me get some more energy. How you eat in the morning. Again, for me, it's liquid to start the day, and then after, when I'm making breakfast for the kids, I have a good healthy breakfast. I'm kind of keto right now, which we've had some discussions about whether or not you want carbs in the morning, you want clean. It's up to you. You've got to find out what's right for you. But I want you to get physically primed for your peak productivity, and that's stuff that you have to test out. You got to find a first meal that works for you. You've got to find the exercise that works for you. That's going to help you stay on track with eating healthy and having energizing foods as well as motion throughout the rest of the day. So between now and next week, I want you to plan out your morning ritual. Either make a checklist, some sort of a mental list, post-it notes, whatever works out for you. I want you to find out everything that needs to get done for you to have put on your own oxygen mask so you can help other people. So again, I've listed the things that are important to me. And this might mean waking up an extra 15, 20, 30 minutes earlier, up to an hour earlier, to get that personal time where you've done what's most productive for you. I spend this time, things have changed obviously with COVID and whatnot, and my kids aren't down here until 8:45. We have our family meeting at 8:45. It used to be 7:30. I had to be ready for the kids to take them to school. I get a little bit more extra time now, so I actually am sleeping in a little bit more, taking advantage of that, waking up a little later, but I still have my hour and a half for a morning routine before I get on this show with you. I give it to you at 8 o'clock, and then my kids come down at 8:45. We start our family meeting, and we get to work from there. And after that, my kids become my priority. So they've taken over. So that first hour and a half when I wake up until now is when I get time for myself to do a little bit of exercise, to do my journaling, to do my mental stuff, to do my breathing, to get my supplements in that, again, I notice a difference whether I'm having my MCT oil and my good healthy fats or I don't. So you can't help your business, you can't help your staff, you can't help your family if you don't take care of yourself first. And you all know that. And I've traveled around the country and seen a lot of chiropractors who are focused, high performance chiros like I talk about on Mondays, who do their morning routines, who are in good shape. And I've seen a lot of that are out of shape and not there for their patients and not who they want to be and are not as focused on not able to focus on their patients as well either. So be the doctor who can take care of yourself first so you can take better care of other people. So a lot of people, when I start talking about this, I don't know how to start. Well, the key to starting is to start now, is to take action. It's to start tomorrow. Is to think of one thing you can do tomorrow morning that's different than you've been doing in the past. And start it tomorrow. And then don't deviate from that. You can adapt, but don't go back to your old routines. So pick a time a little earlier tomorrow. I always say a good morning routine starts with a good nighttime routine. Get yourself to bed tonight. Write down a few things you want to do in the morning. Visualize your day for tomorrow and start a good personal success routine. And it just has to be one different thing. We can add as we go, and that's what January is for. And again, if you want those January tips, just raise your hand in the comments. But if you add one little thing every day or remove one thing every day, which I'm big on, is hack away at the unessential. It's not about daily increase. It's about daily decrease. Get rid of some stuff that's distracting you in the morning to allow you to have more time to focus on yourself or to focus inward on your own personal productivity, and you're going to be a lot better off. If you have any questions about my own personal success ritual or how to put these together, please reach out to me either in the comments or shoot me a personal message. But start tomorrow. If you're not doing it already, start tomorrow. If you are doing it already, improve it by tomorrow. Do one thing better tomorrow than you did today. Get into that morning success ritual before anybody else, before you give your energy to everybody else, and you'll be a lot more productive. Also, find the one thing that's most important to you that you're working on in your life. For me, it's videos, which is why I spend a good part of my morning getting videos together for my clients and for you before I even hang out with my family so that I can get that stuff done and I know I accomplished something. And if my family does distract me and I don't get anything else done today, I've already been productive. And that's what I want for you as well. So work on that. Again, answer the question of the day. I see a good group has joined us here this morning. Work on your ritual. Reach out to me if you want to. And like I said, let me know if you want the 31 episodes from January of this year that have been lost in the hacking. I will talk to y'all tomorrow morning. We are going to be talking about case acceptance philosophy. We're really getting into the meat and potatoes of perfect case acceptance. Talk to y'all tomorrow.